Hello, no intro today. We are
Oh God.
live. Yeah, I didn't do an intro. I forgot about it. So, good morning, everybody. We are
Welcome to coffee.
we're live with Coffee with Den. It is another Wednesday, and I'm here once again with Gravity Crab and T Swift or Die. John, I didn't know if you were going to be here today. You're
Yeah.
traveling. You're going to be here next week. When are you out?
I'm tomorrow next week's the 15th, right? So I should be here the 16th. I think I leave the 16th.
Okay,
So yeah, I think this is my last week for 2 weeks. I don't know.
awesome,
I might
man.
do the show while I'm over there. We'll
You'll have to
see.
grab some photos and
That would be
tell
kind of
us.
cool. You could
Actually,
do it on location.
I
Well,
just
no, I was just saying you could. There's a travel and photography and outdoors and amazing views and all those layers. You could probably
uh,
make
That's a
back
good
some of the
idea.
money you spend on travel by posting some original content on the
Get
appropriate
your
layers
meals
on
paid
Den.
for at least by your photographic skills.
yeah, it's funny. My wife just took a seminar class thing with like National Geographic and how to do like photojournalism.
Oh, nice.
So she's
That's
like,
cool.
I'm gonna like try to do this like photojournalism thing for like the improv festival you're going to, and she's super excited. They don't
That
have
sounds
like,
fantastic. Yeah.
yeah, they have like an official like photographer, but their official photographer is like their friend of a friend, and there's just one of them.
Yeah.
So she's like, I'm gonna go take pictures too. She's gonna like do all that cool stuff. Whenever we travel, we always take like photo tours and stuff. So
Nice, dude. Yeah. Bring a GoPro and have. Is it Jacob Wayne that does all the travel videos? Have
that's
him
right.
has
I
him
thought
throw a
about
travel
that.
video
I
together
think
for
he
you.
is.
Yeah.
I've seen some of the stuff that he does and post on Den.
Oh,
And
that's
it's
right. You were
pretty good.
telling me about that.
Yeah, I think it's, is it him who I'm talking? Nah, I could
Hope
be
it
thinking
is.
of somebody else and
Yeah,
naming the
that would
wrong
be
person. I don't
bad.
know, but whoever it is, they, I mean, I think I'm right. Nomadic gear, it's the nomadic gear person.
Hey,
Anyway,
Bon, stop.
it's good stuff. It's good stuff. I've seen their stuff.
Bon.
Speaking
Why?
of good stuff,
Why did we not have an intro video, by the way?
oh, I didn't hit the button.
I was not ready. I was just
Yeah.
like,
Oh, I muted
I'm
my
ready.
mic. Everything. I had no clue it was coming.
No,
I was gonna
I
go
literally
goof
hit the
off
wrong.
and like,
I hit go live instead of like play intro video. So
uh,
I
told you
kind
I
of
was
liked
really
it.
tired this morning.
It was shocking. It was good.
yeah,
It was a good wake up call.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. We were talking about quality. Look at what's in front of us. This landed on Den. This is pretty well related to one of the topics that I want to go in today, which is the DAO, the DENDAO thing. One of the things that like makes me really excited about doing Den, and we'll talk about what a DAO is for a minute, but doing it in a decentralized ownership sort of way, is that this happens. People just jump in and make stuff, and then like
Out of the blue.
it's a
Side
team
note.
effort, and you don't have to ask permission to get involved. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I shoehorned my way in here. I was like, look at this thing. I'm gonna go get involved. Didn't
This
ask
this
anybody. Just started
this
doing stuff.
also this also might be my favorite thing ever posted on Den. Side note, just throwing that out there. I love this little dragon guy logo so much.
Yeah, I thought that
Makes
that
me
was really
so
good.
happy.
And you know what I mean? Like it's clever. It makes a see. It looks the
Hmm.
branding ties it in with Den. It's really high resolution. I dig the asphalt.
Oh yeah.
And obviously, I use this already as the cover photo. So this is from. Let me close this for a second. This showed up from. Let's see, Bebek Chetri, if I pronounced that too poorly, I'm sorry. But there's yeah, there's a few things. There's a rebranding effort, and they said they wanted to make some intro videos too. Speaking of intro videos that we didn't have,
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. We should use one of those in placement this morning.
and I don't know. Go back. What did I do? What did I do?
You push the button.
I didn't want to do that. Go forward. There we go.
Yeah. We go.
And then there's he or she or they, I don't know, dropped a Google Drive link in there too. So there's some more stuff in there. There's this coffee cup, which is cool, you know, stuff like that. And the shirt, I really like the shirt.
I want one of
I like the
those.
orange. Like I'm a big Bitcoin fan, right? So I never liked orange until Bitcoin happened. And then I'm like,
Really?
ah, orange, Bitcoin orange. That's my favorite. But that's a great looking shirt.
Yeah,
It works great.
I
It
want
works
that
great for
shirt.
where we live too. Classic
Oh
orange.
yeah.
Oh
Oh yeah, that's a good
yeah.
point. We have the university, and yeah.
Yeah, Gators, go Gators. We could do orange and Den.Social could be in blue or something.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool, like a
Now,
local Gator edition of it.
I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm not sure if they meant to share the whole folder or not, but there's actually some really cool animations and stuff in here too. Like check out this one that was made for with it's got an animated dragon flying in and stuff. Check it out. I don't think you can hear the sound, but there's actually sound effects of the fire and then the drag. Oh, this isn't the dragon
That's
one.
just the fire one. I
There's a
think
dragon one
he's.
that scoop.
I'm pretty sure that they were fine with linking the whole thing because we've talked about this person one time before
Mm-hmm.
because they just made us. I think it was this that was made, and it was awesome.
Yeah, flies around and the dragon comes back up and rah.
Makes me want to
Cool,
play
right?
Skyrim.
Have we not been using this for like the entire time? This is
Oh,
so
it's my
cool.
fault.
It's
You can
so
always
good.
you can always default back to that. I don't mind. I'm really good at taking the blame for whatever you need.
Operation is always there.
This might be my favorite though. It's simple. It's flamey. Looks like a sun, and then it's the Den logo.
It's simple. It's
Mm-hmm.
flamey. Looks like the sun.
Yeah, dig it. So that's some of the stuff that we can integrate into this show. I think, as far as transitions and opening sequences and things like that.
Yeah. All in all, I think this is just excellent.
So just wanted to bring attention to that. That's in the Den layer. Go tip this person out. I think I did already. Is there tips? Yeah. Cool. Some other people have too.
Yeah, I need to go
Excellent.
tip some
And
stuff.
some lore. Some people have tipped some lore, which is great. So that person, which is important. So Den, and this is related to what we're going into this morning. But Den is really good at. Well, okay. How do I explain this? There's an objective of making like allowing entrepreneurs to rise to the top, and that's who we want to give ownership of the platform to. So tipping out lore or lot is kind of like saying, "Hey, go get involved in owning a layer because you're the kind of person who's going to build this with us in the way that we can all benefit from." So that's excellent. Just super work. I just wanted to highlight that for a minute.
You just kind of answered a question that confused me as of about 2 seconds ago.
Oh yeah, what was that?
I looked at my wallet in Den there, and I only had a couple of lot tokens from when we did Gainesville stuff, right?
Yeah.
I looked at it and it says I had 3. So I'm like, huh, what the hell? So apparently, like, somebody tipped me out a token for current situation.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
There you
which
go.
is cool. I mean,
Yep.
thank you to whoever that was. That's awesome. I'd love to have lot and tons of stuff, but that's awesome.
So that's something too that there's a lot of the a lot of the
A
lot.
lot.
Yeah. So a lot of the lot that we I'm gonna scroll down and have this on the screen for a second while I'm talking about lot. A lot of the lot before Ethereum fees became so high, people like me transferred them or exported them out to Ethereum from DragonNet and from Den rather. So what that means is I can't tip them. We can tip stuff as long as it's held on Den. But since we're interoperable with Ethereum, I wanted to put them on an OpenSea so I could like start that collection and maybe put some offers up or get some auctions going, which of course I didn't do, like everything else I do start doing. But now like we haven't integrated an easy way to bring them back into Den at the moment. So one of the things we're doing though is a lot of the older lot will be coming back into Den so that it can be tipped. So some of the layers that are only a couple of owners that were made a long time ago, and then the stuff was transferred out, or the it's just not being tipped out or in a position to be tipped out. That'll come back in so we can distribute or run contests or basically decentralize some of those less centralized, some of those more centralized layers with lot. I think is what I was trying to say, basically. But yeah, incomplete
early.
thought. Let's move along. Have either of you read this list of upcoming features?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's
I
pretty
am
baller.
excited. I'm excited for several of these upcoming features. I think they're going to be awesome.
So I thought I was going to be really prepared. Is this the copy done? Yeah. Okay. I did
Yeah.
read this in advance too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I found the post yesterday. Did all that.
fantastic.
I might even have it still up. But yeah.
Which one jumps out at you if you had to pick one? Because when we
Ooh,
vote for these, what we're going to do is use the structure we'll talk about in a minute, but we're going to have everybody vote on their favorites, and that will direct the developing team what to work on first. So it's a community directed development. So yeah, what jumps out
Uh,
at you? I like DMs, chat and DMs.
yeah, that would be really nice to have. Aside from just sending somebody one lore, which was
what
brilliant. I just want to point out.
what is first of all, what is notifications upgrade? That's not very specific. It's just like notifications are getting better.
Yeah,
You're
I
gonna
know.
get more
I didn't even
people
notice that.
and notifications. It's like what is
They're
that?
gonna see. You will see more things.
Over
Or
here
like
in the DENDAO layer is where the
For me, it's
original post
cross-posting.
was, and this actually has a little bit about it. So that
Oh, okay.
means, so notification upgrade. This feature would improve notifications, include notifying if a thread you are involved in has new replies that are not
That would be
directly
sweet.
replying to you. This may also improve some of the other notifications. Really?
okay.
So yeah, by thread and by, so another by thread and by at, and then that's right above it is being able to tag someone and say, "Yo, T Swift or die," like to ping you in like
Okay.
is pretty standard on other platforms. People expect that feature. It'd be really useful
Yeah,
to
that would be
to
nice.
like bring somebody in who knows more about a question or something like that.
Yeah. So I've got my favorites. I know what I'm
Oh yeah,
excited about.
let's go to the
Yeah.
overview here. Which one's your favorite?
The denizens at slash reference and notifications upgrade.
All
Those are
right.
because I feel like they kind of go together
Yeah,
a
I
little
think so
bit,
Yeah,
too.
but
they work well. They
there's
sandwich
so many
nicely.
there's so many things that are cool that I see. I'm like, oh, Dave would think this is cool.
Hmm.
David would think this is cool, and then I don't feel like sending a link. Like, it's
Oh,
like
and I have a dirty iPhone too. So like when you guys send me links, I click on it and it just opens me to the Den page.
Yeah, that's
It's
improving.
great.
That has improved on the last update, at least for Android. Now, about some of the time that I open a link, it actually goes to the correct link page. So we're still working on that with the app.
For me, it is 0% of the time.
I understand. I understand.
I've taken to just copying them and putting them in the browser to see what you send me.
So that's where this plus chat and DMs together, the three of those would be great because right now we have a Telegram channel where there's a denizen chat and Telegram. So that's off platform. It would be better to bring that in to here. We also have the same thing going on with on the Dragon Chain side. They can bring their Telegram groups into Den as well instead of having those. And then like yeah, just getting a message to somebody if you don't know them. Like I know you guys, I can send you a message, right?
Yeah.
But for people that want to interact with folks they don't know, then yeah, that's super important.
Yeah, like I talk back and forth in threads with people. I mean, that I see regularly. One of
Hmm.
them is in our comments right now. Like the guy Link over there, he says he's in gaming all the time, and like I couldn't find something and just send it over to him because I mean I don't know him.
Hmm.
So it would be nice to just be able to do that.
It would help for visibility. There's been some discussion about visibility of like original content, which is important because you might post in one place, but it might also or maybe better belong in a different layer that you didn't even know about. That's what cross posting is all about too. More
Yeah,
about
that's
like
going to be cool too.
visibility and posting to more than one layer at a time if if it matches the subject. Let's read a little bit about what that entails because it's a pretty interesting. The cross posting
It's
would be cool
different
because
than a
of
lot of other cross posting things.
yeah. So what Joe wrote here is this. This feature would reward users, creators, and evaluators for signaling to the system that a post would be valued in another layer or multiple layers. The cross poster would be rewarded with a portion of the matter if the other layers evaluated the content positive. The original creator, which may or may not be the person cross posting, would be rewarded with the lion's share of the activity from the other layers, but would not be penalized if the cross post performed poorly.
That
So,
last bit there
yep.
is key.
So if somebody like spams your stuff around to different layers, there's no penalty
You're
to
not
the
gonna.
person
It
who
wasn't
created the
you.
stuff. Yep, exactly. Yep. So that's an interesting feature. That's going to be, and then effort high on that is because the way it needs to be designed specifically, like it just takes some work and some planning. But that's cool because it's not just simply cross posting. It's cross posting with incentive
Yep.
and with feedback and all that. Another two features that I think would go excellent together is these two here, 3 and 4. Matter lot trade and matter lore purchases directly in the app.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah,
instead of
kind of just like a
telling people,
marketplace for.
it kind of does, yeah. And similar to what I was saying about the chats and things like that, if somebody wants to buy or sell or trade matter, they have to go off platform to this Uniswap thing that you spend $300 to for the luxury of like using their platform. It's really expensive in gas fees for Ethereum right now. So what we could do is create a feature on Den to where you could pay with a credit card or maybe even Ether or Dragons or something like that. So people could, let's say you wanted to boost a post, but you've only got a little bit of matter, you could just buy some matter and then boost your post instead of having to go out and spend all that money. We're trying to save money, make it more fluid. But what that directly leads into also is this matter lot trade. This one, right now, all the auctions for NFTs and things that I see are arbitrarily priced. People are just putting a price that they think is, buy or sell for that, and the numbers go crazy. This is an interesting way to measure the value of your lot tokens. So let me read this real quick. This feature would provide an interface for lot holders to sell, and that's your ownership tokens for owners of the layer, to sell lot for matter directly on the interface. Under current designs, it would not be an ordinary sale, but a swap for estimated ROI based on an average day return for the respective lot. So if you don't know what that means, that's the most important part of it. It's what it's saying is, let's say you have a lot for the I don't know, pick a layer.
Oh God, gaming. Just go with that one.
Yep,
Maker layer.
gaming.
We'll go with maker layer. No, maker layer. He said it right.
No, that's not a good example.
It's not a good example.
No, he's not.
That's just a fun example.
Well,
you
we're
go
not
with
making
game layer then.
no, we're not bashing a layer this time. We're actually saying something positive. So, sorry, Blake. So what happens is if you hold any number of one lot token for the gaming layer, 5% of all the matter that is generated inside that layer is distributed among all lot holders. So you get a percentage of that 5% from your lot every single day. So what this does is it measures the matter that is, like, you can think of it as how much matter do you earn from holding that lot passively per day on average.
Oh.
So what you can say is you can sell it for not a set price or whatever, but for an estimated ROI, meaning, okay, if I paid this amount of matter, it would take me 3 months to earn that much back, based on how much matter this lot earns per day just by holding it, right? So you
Okay.
get some reason to ask for a certain price. And then when you're selling it, you can just choose, okay, I want to sell it for a 1 month ROI, or I wanted to make it really expensive and sell it for like a 9-month ROI or an 18-month
Okay.
ROI, that kind of thing.
That makes sense.
And then, so the other side of that that's interesting is that the person who's swapping for lot has the power, once they own it, to move that ROI closer to home, closer to now. Because now that they're an owner, they can directly build up that layer and do things that they think will help it, which will reduce their time to ROI in theory, right? You get more activity, more people posting, generating matter, more people evaluating, you get more of a payout than when you first bought it, because now you're
More
taking,
traction, higher value.
yeah, so now you're taking kind of an entrepreneurial attitude towards it. So that's really interesting. I like that not being just a like random number put on something and, hey, is it worth this to you? That actually means something, you know?
Right.
So then these two together would be great, because if somebody wants a piece of a particular layer or several pieces, they could easily purchase matter directly and then use that to swap for lot without ever having to leave the app or go out to another platform, right? So those are all cool. They're also like,
Like it
mid
would
to
make it-
high effort. So
Seems like it would make it a lot easier to deal with than having to jump through a bunch of hoops.
yes.
Yeah.
So those are the ones
Understandably
that I'm most
difficult to
interested in.
implement too. You covered mine, cross posting. That's the one I'm about right now.
Yeah.
Wait,
I'm not going to read all of
Real
these.
quick, I want to see
Yeah.
what the denizen flag is because when
Yeah.
I
Okay,
read
so
it,
that's wild.
This is really
alright,
cool.
When
Go
I
for
read it, I thought he was just like, "We're gonna design a flag." I'm like, "Why is this a
We're a country now.
why is this a software update
Ah.
and not sent to graphic design?" Like,
Yep.
Because it's so much cooler.
Let me see if I can
Flag
find.
along the center avatar,
Where is it at?
to make it hard
You
to-
posted it a long time ago.
There is.
I'm-
Yeah,
you
I'm
know
not going to
what
look for it.
sounds like?
I'll describe it though. What it is a dynamically generated flag with a certain number of stripes that some of them maybe are diagonal and maybe some of them are a different color. And then you still have an avatar. I bet I can find it. I'm sorry. I have to show
so
this to you.
worth finding the graphic.
You know what it
So
sounds like
this
to
would
me,
have
though?
been.
It sounds
Here.
like an NFT, right? Like it sounds
Yes.
like an NFT that's
Yeah.
customizable.
It sure
So you're
does.
giving your that sounds like a lot of freaking work. That sounds like a lot of
There
work
it is.
for no money. Like,
Look at that. Look at that flag.
oh, that's ugly.
Right, it's a mock-up. So look.
Yeah, no, it's not pretty at all. Side note, I just want to point out the flag being flag-shaped and under your avatar would be a lot nicer.
You think so?
Yes.
You don't think putting
Yes,
your
I
avatar in the okay?
No. Square under it that looks like a flag and not that. But that's a great example.
Yep. Okay, so the features are all written up down here, but basically, yeah. So these stars that you see here, the red stars, the blue stars, the yellow stars, that would be a dynamic indication of your reputation based on content reputation, economic reputation, and stuff like that. So economic reputation would be like, okay, you've earned this much, but you've taken it all out and dumped it, right? Versus you've earned this much and you've only taken 10% out, or you've kept all of it. You can have stars that indicate whether a creator, let's say there's a couple of creators that you like. One of them doesn't sell all their matter because they stake it for lore to get more lot to build more on Den, and the other one is just taking all the matter out as soon as they earn it and selling it. Well, you can say, okay, I'm probably gonna, in my case, this is me personally, I'm probably gonna tip out the one more that has the better economic reputation, because I feel like the I'll still tip the other one out, but I know they're just gonna go dump it anyway, which is like it's just another indicator for without like collecting people's data, just using what's on chain to show people what people's like, I don't know, what
Main
kind
priority
of,
is.
what kind of denizen they are, what their priorities are. And then
think
content
overall
reputation
priority.
is similar to that, but it's based on sort of the same thing that the current reputation system is set on, the Den-wide layer reputation scores.
It would also
So that's
be
for
great
every
if
user.
I wanted to pretend to be Dave as well. It'd be really nice that I couldn't just fire up an account really quick, figure out a way to make it say his username, and then add like an underscore or some shit, and then ask somebody like, "Hey, I need you to really quick transfer something to me," because they could look at that and be like, "Oh, this is obviously not this person. This is a new person with they have no clout. We'll use the word clout for fun. They have no clout whatsoever, no clarification if this is actually who they are."
Right. Exactly. And that came up when we
I
were
dig
talking
that.
about the tipping feature and stuff. We want to make sure people have the tools to not get scammed if possible, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then these badges, we could have things like, if you, let's say you post in the music layer and you're an owner of that layer, when you post in there, this flag will show up in that layer on your post. But if you post somewhere else, it won't show up because you're not an owner of that layer. So you can indicate like, oh, this is the layer owner of this layer. Stuff like that. And again, like identity stuff to make sure you can't just copy paste.
The
kind of
scam, the ability to be able to identify somebody by looking at a flag and just kind of knowing, or looking at even an image, we wouldn't call it a flag, just an image, and being able to know like this is who I'm dealing with very easily is great. I've already doing what I do for a living. I just went back to working for a computer shop, And I've already been there. I've been there less than a month. I've already had 2 people, one of which I'm not even positive didn't get scammed, trying to like coming in frantically trying to buy Bitcoin.
Yes.
And they're just like talking to a random person that they met a while ago and it's their boyfriend and they have no way to verify this person. I just feel like it would be nice if at least people couldn't get a ton of matter stolen from them or transfer a whole bunch of money to buy a bunch of matter and things like that.
You know what I would do, bro? And this is maybe morally questionable.
What?
Put up a fucking Bitcoin ATM in your store. Sorry, but do it.
Why?
Because if you got people demanding Bitcoin, sell it to
Well,
them.
it's not that they're demanding it, and when I say frantic, they're more hysterically crying and terrified.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I
Yeah,
mean,
no, I wouldn't do that.
I mean, you know what happened is they either have ransomware, or they have some kind of scary, like that guy. You know, when we worked at our shop, that came in and like,
Yep.
I was on my computer about 10 o'clock 10 o'clock at night. You know, on the computer. You know what I mean, on the internet.
What's up with
late
that?
at night. And he kept like insinuating. Basically,
Yep.
he was presented with a message. Back then, it wasn't ransomware, but it was like
It was one of the
FBI.
best scam I've ever seen. It uses the webcam in your laptop. It shows you a picture of you just sitting there doing what you're doing with a big old FBI warning, like you've accessed some illegal material, deposit money here. It was one of the most clever things I've ever seen.
And then I had to explain to him that no, the FBI does not want you to go get a Visa card from CVS and send it to them. That's not how they
Oh
operate.
God, Apple gift cards.
Yeah,
That
whatever
was
it
one of my
was.
favorites.
You know what I mean? And so, yeah, scams are a real thing. I guess that's all we were saying. They exist.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. That went onto a tangent there, but it would just be nice if other places had ways to identify people quickly.
I don't. So I like the. I don't know. I'm still not super sold on it. I'm sold on like your aspect and like needing that side of it for like some kind of verification that this isn't like somebody who just created like a doppelganger account that looks like somebody
Doppel
else's.
Dave.
Especially if it's like I'm gonna come in here and just like I don't know, create a temporary account and be shitty to people or something.
Yeah.
You even
But
identify a throwaway at that point.
I think showing their economic value, like, and also um like their reputation when it comes to posting and stuff like that. It's kind of like, oh, this is a shitty person, or this they don't have a good reputation with posting, so I'm not going to um like upvote this as much because
Mm.
I don't have a good chance of getting a good return. Like, what happens if this goes south on this post, which is just more likely to be
That's a good point. I
who
like
it
that
is.
too because you don't want to.
Yeah.
One thing that we have already done in the past is we've done things to mitigate.
Yeah.
What do you call it? Sheeping. You know, like following the crowd, that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
I think it's gonna be more like if you went to an art show, it's like, oh, this art's amazing, and then you meet the artist and you realize the artist is like super poor, doesn't have like a lot of um like education when it comes to being an artist. You're like, oh wait, actually this art's bad. It's like a second ago you said this was good art.
I see
Like,
what you're saying because you might,
yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah,
maybe that was
I
a
could
poor
see that.
example that I used. You know, that was my own. That was my own example that I came up with off the top of my head. But it's a. I'm kind of glad I used it because you're right. There's going to be there's going to be a variety of reasons why somebody might take matter out of their account, right? Tipping, right? We've already talked about that. Like, okay, you obviously shouldn't penalize for tipping. You know what I
Or
mean?
it could easily be also like I have 2 accounts. I have my personal account, and then I have my account that I use for like Denizen, or I
Mm-hmm.
use for whatever other thing I'm doing. And I like to leave my matter in these other accounts so I can tip people out, right?
That's a good
It
point too.
doesn't
Like I'm
show
using
that,
my business account right now. I'm using Decent Gains.
yeah,
And what if I wanted to move my matter from my personal account where I've been earning it to my business account where I can use it for managing my community? You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
the Gainesville layer and stuff like that. That's a good point too. Or like you said, if someone's poor and they're like literally they're here to make money, which is what we want to like. Yeah, that's what it's for. If you
Yeah,
need
support that,
that, that's what we're
absolutely.
here. So yeah, What I don't want to
Maybe
do,
showing the economic aspect needs to be rethought.
But then I
We
think
can
you
think-
also get the same thing with like your creative reputation and stuff like that, which I think you can find. Can you look at other people's rep?
no,
Okay.
not
So
right now.
Yeah, I think like that's kind of like that's a lot of information you're giving somebody
Mhm.
when also like this is you were talking about being able to verify somebody so I can make sure it's the right person. I
Yeah.
can look at everything you've commented on and posted on
Yes.
very easily.
Yeah, but the average person's not going to do that.
But if we're in
The-
if
the
we're at one
average
of our
person
den
isn't gonna-
experiments,
if
if
I'm
we're
going to
in,
send you money, I'm not going to go. Let me like look and see if like
People
you.
don't.
Well, people need to be smarter. I don't
that's
know.
true. That's true.
I mean,
But
yes,
if I was
but
sitting,
they're
if I
not
was
gonna
out,
be.
let's say that we're at one of our events and there's several people that use Den, and there's somebody who's standing up by the bar saying, "Hey, I got an employee shirt on," and they make a fake account that says the bar, and you're like, "Yeah, just tip me here, and then you can get your points over your drink over at the bar." And they
That's
tip
clever.
you, and they go get the drink, and then you disappear, and they're like, "Wait, who did I just give my money to?" That kind of thing, just simple little things like that.
That's
Some
very
way to it.
true. That sounds like a lot of work for somebody to make $5.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
right.
see that being an
Well,
epidemic.
the amount
I mean,
made, I guess, is independent from the point of like, okay, can we mitigate that? The content reputation, I think's pretty okay to show, and maybe even important because there's a lot of stuff that if I don't know the reputations of somebody, it takes me a lot longer to vet them. I think because like if somebody has a track record of not lying. And see, I don't know if this is healthy or not. Is it healthy that I trust someone that I have a track record of probably like somebody who's proven that the community values their work. That's what that score is about. Is how much they've been evaluated up versus down. And that's like a direct metric on whether or not you're being appropriate in the different layers that you're in is all that is. You don't have to be an amazing creator to have an amazing reputation.
I think like I think I think what would be really the most uncontroversial that could kind of help a few of these things is one if the flag indicated how old their account is, right? So if this is a brand new account, it's going to be like it's going to look one
That's
way.
clever.
And then if it's an older account, it's like, okay, I know that this is probably actually Dave. And then also, and you mentioned
How old the account is? That's useful. Yeah, they
I
didn't just spin it
would
up recently.
I would support an account like the age of the account over the economic visual. Honestly, like that's really clever.
And then I think the other thing you mentioned is whether or not this person's like trusted and a liar and stuff like that. Um, I think what you can do is maybe like there. I thought, all right, this is going to be a dumb idea, but it might inspire something else. Um, if there was an indication that was different for you as opposed to other people, that shows how many times you've interacted with them.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're
Oh yeah.
consistently interacting with this person, their flag is going to be brighter, have more NFTs on it. I don't know. I know
Like
that's not how an NFT
if you
works.
have a yeah. So if you have a history of interacting with somebody, then there's some sort of indication that just shows up on your account for you when you look at them, saying, "Yep,
Yeah.
this is somebody that you've interacted with before. It's not some
Yeah.
rando."
Their flag is going to look different for you than it is for somebody else.
That's cool. I like that.
That sounds like a lot of work, or maybe not. I don't know how to program anything besides
Well,
the
it's
microwave.
it's more than some of the others. Like anonymous posting is pretty easy. You just make it to where you can post and then not have your name associated with it, and it's
Yeah.
not in the database either. It's just anonymous. That's pretty relatively easy. Showing consensus is pretty easy. Right now we don't show consensus, but we're looking at being able to go back and see how something performed in the past after it's already been voted on, because
cool.
the votes are blind, and the person who goes and looks at their metrics the next day can see how many up or down votes they got or whatever, but other people can't see how something performed. So you might want to look at a post and be like, oh, this one performed well. What did they do? Oh, so people like this. Let me do something like this, that kind of thing.
I think the other thing that you could add also to the flag, just like before we go to the next topic, is if they hit a certain metric, then it's like then it looks a certain like if they hit a certain milestone,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that way it's not like, oh, like everybody that's like below a 4 is gonna look 4 stars of reputation is gonna look one way, and then if you're a 4 stars or 5 stars, you're gonna look different. So like you don't know if this is a 1 star rep person or a 3 star rep person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
kind of getting rid of that disparity. But even then, you kind of like it reminds me of like oppressive bourgeoisie entitlement classes and stuff like that. It's like, look, I'm
Yeah.
in a 4 star group. I don't know. It
Yeah,
sounds
I
like an
can see
episode of
that.
Community or
That could
whatever.
also be
Meow,
that
meow.
could also be mapped. You know how I was saying like the little flag of ownership would show up if the person's in a layer that they have ownership to, but not if they're talking in a layer that they don't have ownership to. The reputation could work the same way. Theoretically, is where it just shows your relative reputation inside the layer where you're posting. Because you might be like ganged up on in one layer, where another layer loves you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just because of a difference of opinion. So that could be a better way to do it. Or I don't know, site wide. Yeah, site wide reputation maybe isn't the best thing because, ooh, excuse me. Or maybe you default to site wide if there's no data. I don't know, but I like the idea of having the reputation score there because of it's here's why it's important. Let me go back to the DENDAO. This is the new layer that is opened called DENDAO, and this is going to be the new governance layer. So far, we've had. Come on, back up, back up. My mouse doesn't work sometimes. We've had this layer, Den Governance 21, and this is where we had our own governance scheme that
You're still
was
on
a
us, by the way.
placeholder. Huh? Oh, shit. Here we go. Thanks for the
Just
reminder.
looking at us sitting here.
I was
Yeah,
like, my head looks huge right now, and
yeah, yeah.
I move a lot when I'm on camera. I feel, and I'm just constantly
Oh,
trying to keep my head between the pillars.
yeah. So when it's like this, you're just like, oh wait, don't move
I'm
too
just like,
much.
yeah, I'm just like, and then I always go to the wrong way because it doesn't mirror.
Every
Yeah.
time.
Oh,
Yep.
I fucking hate it.
Yep. Yep. So
the
then
the penalties
governance.
of being on the internet in the morning.
I gotta let my dog out. I'll be back one
Yep.
sec.
Go for it.
Do it.
So this is the layer that we've used in the past, and this is based on.
Oh god.
I guess I don't have to go through all that, but basically it's based on if you hold lots of this
Sorry.
layer.
I
What happened?
apologize. I just swallowed a whole good old mouthful of coffee grinds there.
Oh,
How? I had like a tablespoon and a half of coffee total. All right,
and they all
whatever.
sank to the bottom into your
And they all
cup.
sank to
Into
the
your cup.
bottom, and now I'm alive. All right, we're good. Let's go. Maybe that'll wake me up.
So yeah, as I was saying,
What the
we're
hell's
moving
going
to
on
this
here?
DENDAO layer, and the difference is this: there's this entire site-wide governance system that is designed to transition DIN into a DAO structure. And a DAO is a decentralized autonomous organization where whoever holds the tokens to vote in it get to direct the company or the organization or whatever, right? So here's the starting. You can call this the DIN DAO owners or the founders or whatever. And so there's a lot to this, and one important and I don't think it's been really publicly talked about yet, but one part of this is a sweat equity situation where, based on people's activities on DIN, they can earn these lot for the DIN DAO layer, which gives you ownership of the DIN organization, the entity, or the ability at least to vote on the direction of the development and things like that. So all of those things that we were just talking about, that list, there will be a list of 13 of them, and then people who own these tokens in the DENDAO will vote on the order of how they get prioritized for development, right? So say we work on one thing at a time, we go through a vote, it lasts like a week or whatever, and everybody's able to vote on one thing, and then the one that, it orders from greatest to least priority from the community. So then we take the top one, we work on it, that gets done, we put out another vote, everybody votes again. That way, in case the priorities have changed since we've been working on it, we can reprioritize for the rest of them. And so that lets us stay agile. It lets us get community input on what should be worked on next without the original founders arbitrarily deciding here's what we do next and there's what we do next. It gives people a say in it. And over time, this list grows and grows and grows. And so everybody will get sort of a weighted vote depending on how much of the lot that they earn from DENDAO, or how much if they decide to purchase it on the open market or something like that. It doesn't matter. But that's how that works. These owners can propose and vote on site-wide governance issues. Does that make sense? How that's going to work? It's like
Yeah.
the layer. Yeah, it's just like the layer governance, except it's for basically telling the developers what to do next.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. And I guess, sorry, sorry, I'll be right back.
Okay, yeah, take a minute, man. He had coffee grounds in his throat. I understand that.
Oh wow.
So that's how that's going to work out, and that's how we're going to prioritize stuff.
I keep brushing my hair the opposite direction
Because of the mirror?
thing. Oh yeah. So funny story. You know how last week you guys helped me a little bit with picking out a graphics card and like
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
that's in my computer?
Yeah.
I went to go use Adobe like suite that I needed to do, and it's like, oh, by the way, I like this setup so much better because I
Still
can
wide.
move more.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, by the way, your graphics card driver is out of date. You need a new one. You have to go into your system, uninstall your old one, and put in a new one. I have no fucking clue how to do that. I saw like
You
like,
do though.
oh,
You do.
well, it was like, hey, this is how you do it. It's really simple. I'm like, okay, this sounds scary because what happens if I don't put it back in? Like, what if I do this wrong? So that's my new thing I have to do now.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, all that's going to happen when you uninstall it is everything's going to look not good on the screen, but you'll still have a display. And then when you install the new drivers, which you can get from NVIDIA's website, then it'll go back to normal. You might have to reboot or something.
Yeah.
He was
Why
saying
can't
he
it
put his
just
new
update?
video card in, but he's not. Now he's got to update the drivers, and the instructions are scary because it says go into your system and remove your drivers, and then like, okay, well if I remove them, what if I? Yeah.
What
Now,
kind of card did you have the first time?
Oh,
NVIDIA.
I didn't update the video card. It's still the old video card. I just have to update the driver on it.
Oh, hold on. Do you
Oh.
have? Is it another NVIDIA card? Was the first
It's
one?
the same card.
I haven't gotten a new card. It's the same card. It just like it's required me to use a different driver.
I thought you were saying you got the new card.
No, I'll.
If it's
I'll,
the same card, why would it need a different driver?
They had an update.
Goodbye. No.
Okay, that seems odd.
Should be fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's what's coming up, man. With the DAO, with the voting on features, there's some more features that didn't make it on the original one that'll be added. So real quick, we've got show transaction, which would be like, where is this on the blockchain, right? This post kind of thing. So if you wanted to download a record of it or something like that. Translation features, that would be cool to have some way of translating for the different layers that you're in that might not be English, or might not, like for people that are not native English speakers that might not speak English. There's a happy button. I'm not sure what that is.
I was wondering about that.
There is. I just haven't looked at what the person said.
Yeah,
yet.
I have no clue what the happy button is. That's
LCP process automation's a big one. Right now, we manually set them up, which it's open again for voting this month, by the way. So
Oh, yeah,
go check
LCP 's
out.
up.
Yeah, go check out the new layers and vote on some stuff. Use that farmed internal lore that everybody gets for free to become an owner. Sticky posts, really important to be able to put, like, as the layer owners, to be able to put a sticky at the very top to be like, hey, here's a lot of stuff about what you need to know for this layer. You know what I mean? What to do, what not to do, things like that. Bookmarks, so that you can save for later on the app. A remind me feature and dark mode. Dark mode is what I have manually implemented. That's why my screen's in dark mode.
would like a native dark mode though. That'd be nice.
Yeah. And it would look basically like this. More or less.
A lot easier on the eyes.
You want
So
to
we
go
have all
through some
kinds of
feedback?
comments today. Yeah, I was gonna say we have tons of comments today.
Y'all weird. Basically,
A lot of
said
it is
what
about
I
the
was
branding.
thinking. Yeah, it's great. I think it's fantastic. Once again, go tip that person out.
I think that's great. Actually, I should go do that.
Great branding, fitting for the DENDAO discussion. I agree. Maybe one day we'll turn this into its own layer, its own show, like World Blockchain Roundtable. What they do is everyone who chimes in for the episode, they get an ownership token in that podcast, in that layer.
I was going to talk to you about that
Mm-hmm.
actually, because that seems like a really good idea. I'd love for the people that frequently watch it to be able to kind of vote on what our next topics are.
Yeah, so what I would love to do is create kind of a DAOception, a DAO within a DAO. So Den itself is a DAO, but then a layer like the World Blockchain Roundtable layer is its own DAO. It's been operating like a DAO without calling itself that, basically. And so what you could do is, yeah, branding, awesome. Here's some ownership tokens. You own, like you made the branding, you own part of the show. And the better the show does, the more residual income you'll get, which turns theoretically everyone into an ambassador, an advertiser for the show, because then now if they are hold those tokens, they know that the better the show does, the more like the better everybody does that owns it. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
rewards come in, that kind of thing. So yeah, that's a great example of how a DAO can help everybody stay
So
involved and get rewarded for it.
my question about that too, because I've thought about that. We talked about it a few times. Would your visibility go down by creating a layer for just like Den with Coffee with Den?
I don't think so.
I
Probably
think
still post it in the den
I
layer.
think when
Mhm.
cross posting becomes a thing, I think then would be like
That'd be a good
an
time to do it.
ideal time, or
The
if I
time
could,
to do that.
Because right
yeah,
now we're on the DIN layer and people look for it on the DIN layer and they're already subscribed to the DIN layer. I got you.
yeah. And also like what I like is like being able to just go in one place and have my stuff, and not having to hit like multiple layers to check out. But then also like if we're getting like, I mean, not to be a little braggadocious here, but like we're getting there's like what, like 20,000 fucking up thingies, right?
Oh yeah, this one was really. I
We
think
got
maybe
a
the
lot.
branding tipped it off. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. But like I also think that,
Oh, it's not us. It's the branding.
well, I also think that like if we're getting that type of stuff, like I think being number one on the den layer is going to be cooler than being number one on the layer you created for yourself.
Oh, you know what? There was a there was another one that we didn't go over, but it's layer leaderboard, layer metrics and leaderboard. Then you could see like layers, kind of like if let's say each show had its own layer, then you could pit the shows against each other on the leaderboard or something like that. But you could also do something like a leaderboard just for all of the shows on Den, whether it's about Den or whether it's about something else. I'm just thinking out loud at this point, but the metrics on the actual shows, because you said, oh, the number one on Den. Well, actually, yeah, we
Yeah,
don't
no
have
clue.
we don't have any sort of like metrics on that. We do. It's all on chain, but we don't have it like a system for measuring it right now.
Well, I mean, like you can go like if you click on like what's hot and stuff like that instead of by time
Yeah.
when you sort, like ours is gonna come, our post is gonna come up for the next however many
Yes.
days, number
Yes.
one, and I think that's cooler than being like, hey guys, I created this layer and I've got the best post on the layer I created. Like it's a little,
That's true. We already created a layer for Gainesville that we're
Yeah.
struggling to get use
yeah.
on. So yeah.
That's what I did. Like, so I'm super curious. Remind me, I want to go see the payouts
Yes.
for the links for the Den show. I meant to ask
Yes.
about
Okay, for sure. We can do that. Yeah.
that. Because I got to tell you something funny.
Okay.
Uh,
In that
but
order.
very specifically in that order.
Well, hold that thought. Let's see what we've got here. We've got a question about buying with a card on Den, buying matter, buying and swapping and stuff like that. That that was, I think, because of the list I made up here. That I think is excellent. That's I would very much like people to be able to buy matter right in the app to make it easier for me personally for the side business that I'm doing for like throwing an event and not having to jump through hoops to show people how to get matter and just be like, hey, at some point I want to do a show where there's enough local adoption to say, look, this is a matter only event, but you can buy it with the app, right? If you want to spend cash, you're going to have to just spend it on the app for Matter, and then we accept that locally, that kind of thing. Right now, we're doing a workaround with drink tickets and stuff like that, but this would streamline it. This would make me at least try to do it that way and see how it worked. So thanks for that input on Mine or No Crypto. Ladazi, shout out to Denizen Bibik Chetri for the graphical identity.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
indeed. Yes, indeed.
He's getting shouted out through this whole post.
Yeah, good, good.
Dave,
Which is great.
that also just made me think of something that we can do for other shows too.
Okay.
Is you can work something out with the bar where you'll buy like X amount of drinks before,
Mm-hmm.
and then just have a separate area to purchase beer with the Den app. So you're the person
Yeah.
doing the actual transaction. or
I thought
whatever.
about that too, because we could have
Or-
our own little bartender, like our own little Denizen Cafe. I want to
Yeah.
do that at we could try to do that over at First Mag. And in March, we're going to be at a brewery with a bunch of outdoor space and things like that. We could potentially do that there because they have a couple of outdoor bar setups already, and I could talk to Simon and see. That's a good idea though. Yeah, just have
doing
like
that First Mag might. I don't know if we're legally allowed to sell beer ourselves.
yeah.
I was
yeah.
just thinking about that.
Oh yeah, didn't I pitched that last week actually? Having your own bartender to the side that you like just pay for yourself that just works for you. Like
Yeah, well, that would be up to the venue. They would know the rules on that better than I do. So
yeah, hardback I feel is a little bit more fast and loose with the law than than First Magnitude is.
Oh no.
they're good people. I don't think they break any laws.
No,
I
not
just
at
mean the fact that they
all.
have a skate park in the back of their venue. Like
Wait. There's a
Wait.
skate park? Who's got
yeah,
a skate
there's a-
park?
Oh, in the back of Hardback, there's a half pipe and everything.
yeah, it's Samurai Skate Shop.
Yeah,
Let me
so-
get this straight.
yeah.
So I was at this place. We did a show there, and
Mhm.
the whole time there was a whole skateboarding area behind it. And I had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. It's fenced
That's
in.
wild.
Maybe you missed it because of the fence.
That's like when I discovered that there was an entire BMX track behind the cemetery in High Springs,
Oh yeah, I didn't know about
which
that
is
until
amazing, by the way.
I didn't know about that until like our friend Veronica was BMX biking over there or something.
Oh, that's right.
You remember that? Yeah.
I forgot about that. She's a nurse, by the way.
Oh, good.
Which is wild.
So let's see. Link says it's great. I was not familiar with Coffee with Den episodes until not so long ago. Thanks for the work, as it helps to understand more about the platform and its roadmap and evolution. Thanks for that feedback. One thing that I can say about the roadmap is that we haven't really had one, and something that this prioritization and DENDAO thing will provide is some kind of roadmap to look at and be like, here's the order of features that we're doing, and here's what we're working on next, and here's what's coming. So that'll help to have even a better roadmap. And I'm sure at that point somebody will make like a graphical roadmap out of that data. Barfi in Den.
No one's just showing us the love.
Yeah, thanks. I like those too. Those are great.
Too. They make me very happy.
Really easy. Nobody's calling me a shit comedian. There we go.
Yeah, thank you for
I do
the
just-
kind words.
It's-
I do just sit there at work, by the way, the day before when you post these. So when people are making the comments and stuff, I just sit there all day and I scroll through them. I'm like, oh, that makes me happy. And I do like when John's being treated well.
it's
At
all
least
about-
most of the time.
Yeah. Let's see. I'll read these when I get off work.
Yeah, I hope you were able to find it. Hand drawn king.
Oh, yeah, you like that as well, being able to save or pin threads.
Yeah.
That
If we had a bookmarking system, hand draw king could have just bookmarked it to find it after work.
get it
Good
together.
example there. Elon Tusk asks, so essentially, we possibly are going to be able to trade matter for lore or lot and vice versa internally. Any way we could add drag into the mix. So essentially, yeah, we're going to be able to do it internally without having to go out to an exchange. There's a few different ways that we could do that. And one of them, I don't know how much is NDA and how much is like. Basically, there's this concept that's pretty unique that would be powerful and useful, and it would allow, let's say, people who own matter, who do want to exchange it for like for matter or lot or something like that, they could put those up in a pool or something in the platform, and that's where, if you buy directly from the platform, that's where you buy it from. So people would be buying it from Den, but Den would be getting it from users directly in the platform. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I think that's like basically how it works. So yeah, that would be interesting because that gives you two options then for selling it. You could sell it basically to Den, or you could sell it over on swap it on Uniswap. You know what I mean? Either or. And then people buying it had the same options. They could either grab it on Den or they could grab it out in Uniswap and bring it in if they want. Anyway, we could add Dragon to the mix. Not initially, not in the beginning. Maybe we can have it to where you can buy matter with Dragon.
That'd be cool.
But I think that would be, if we did, it would be probably like not the first version. A lot of these are get the first version out. That's the basic version. Make sure it works like we think it's going to work, and then iterate on top of that. Dragonverse asks, what is the Decentraland Den estate? Does Den have a metaverse I don't know about? No, they don't. But there is an estate that is a placeholder right now. It is at 37-28 in Decentraland, if you want to look it up. And this is not it, but it is a picture that I took. Here's my character with a kilt next to a dragon that I found on top of a castle in the game. So that's not our estate, but that's the picture I used to answer this question.
What the hell did I just find out?
So there's a metaverse called Decentraland. Have you heard of it?
It's pretty cool.
Excellent. Check this out.
And you definitely shouldn't try to run it on your laptop, as I'm trying to do right now.
Well, I will show you.
I've got a really nice laptop.
It will bring it
to
that I can't find.
Start exploring, and I'll just pull this up right now. Can you see this okay?
I don't know where my laptop is, and it's somewhere in my house. It's been bugging me for days because I've been trying to do this fucking video thing, and
somewhere in my house.
Yeah, and I've searched my house like 3 times, but I was stoned every time. And like, I don't know what's going on, man. And then I try to use my computer to do the video shit. But I gotta do the driver stuff, and
do you need me to fix your computer?
Sounds like it. Tech support.
I can do that for you if you would like.
So the cool thing about Decentraland, to me, is that it's one of the few metaverses right now that only requires a web browser. It does not need like a standalone program that you have to install or buy or whatever. You can just hop in. You can either go in as a guest or you can go in and make an account if you have MetaMask and stuff. But in the game, if you bring up the map, we are in this neighborhood, just bottom right of Genesis Plaza. There's the middle. If you slice it into the middle, we're just to the right of the middle. It's right here, 3728. You can also just type that in to go there, but I'm going to jump in. Wait, is this right? Oops, untitled scene. Am I wrong? I'm pretty sure we're right here, so let's go here. Jump in. You can teleport around. If you ever played Second Life, it's surprisingly similar to Second Life, except
it does remind me of that quite a lot.
Except every building, every article of clothing, everything is an NFT. So you can sell it, buy it, trade it, stuff like that to anybody in or outside of the game on eBay, who cares. And then all of the assets are basically real assets. So our friend Jay, Mirror Vision, put in, this is a placeholder for where we are going to be. This is my personal estate, and I just decided to use it for Den because I was using it for nothing else. So it says Den.Social way at the top, and it's just a building, and it's 2 plots, and it's got like a little dragon thing in here, and it's got a link where you can click on it to go to Den.Social, and it's got a little sign, and then it has the person who built the building for us put some of his NFT artwork up, so you can click on that and learn about it. It's a little building where you can hold art shows, or you can have a meeting, or you can play a little virtual concert, or whatever you want to do. And it's pretty bare right now, but it's getting more popular. And that's it. So that's gonna, as far as metaverse goes, no, we have an estate, but we have not developed it any more than just an initial building with a sign on it that says it's.
Can we make the Black Pyramid?
We can make the Black Pyramid, yeah. I don't have a pyramid-shaped plot of land. If anybody wants to buy this one next to it, it's for sale, and then we can have a square-shaped.
How much is the one next to it?
Let's see.
A lot.
Let's go to.
It's one lot. I've got some lot.
Let's go to. Well, this is not Den.
Wouldn't it be?
I know I was being silly. I was being a rambunctious hooligan with my.
That would be cool though, wouldn't it? If a layer, let's say there was a metaverse layer and there was some kind of mapping with lot to that lot and ownership of a building or something. The marketplace has everything here.
Pyramid?
Hmm?
Was it called the Black Pyramid?
No.
What
I mean,
was
the
it
book
called?
in the book it was.
Hmm.
You mean in Snow Crash?
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking about it. But
Yeah, I
like,
think it was called just Black Pyramid. So if you go to view all parcels and estates, here's the little red thing. Is where it is. I also have one way up here somewhere. There's a game on it, an asteroids game. But whoop, back up. Hold on. I got lost. Damn it, Dave. See, this is what happens. You get lost. There we go. Oh, it's not for sale anymore. They took it down. Well, let's see. There's one across the street for 94,000 mana. And if you look at the price of mana,
it's the Black Sun.
what's the thing I'm looking for? CoinGecko. You can go to CoinGecko and look up like the price of any token. So if I go over here and type in mana, mana is what price right now? So 94,000 times $3.50. So it's $300,000. Right. So that's how much they cost.
Yeah, so just buy that, John. Just get that taken care of.
Yeah. I did not. So I did not pay $3 per mana when I bought mine. So I bought mine for 26,000 mana, which today would be what, 75K or so.
God.
But I bought it when mana was like less than 30 cents, I think. You know what I mean? So it was
Okay,
way different back then. But right now, yeah, it's like a 50 to 100K for an estate like that. It ain't cheap. It ain't cheap. And some of these bigger ones, like if you wanted to get a big estate, is like 250,000 mana, and mana is $3.50 each. So it's not for the faint of heart. That's for sure.
So I just want to
There's
clarify really quick
metaverse.
something that's both something I was just wrong about and also something that's completely unrelated.
Cool.
It's called the Black Sun, not the Black Pyramid.
Oh, the Black Sun.
Black
That makes sense.
Pyramid is a pyramid in Egypt that they thought was a brilliant idea to build in a floodplain and make it out of mud bricks. And it literally
It got
was
washed away.
It was collapsing when they finished it. They tried to reinforce it with like wooden timbers, and that didn't even work. Like they abandoned it right after this, and they also left way too many rooms, so there was a big mud hut with a bunch of dead space in the middle. Funnily enough, the pharaoh that commissioned it, I can't remember what his actual name was, but his tagline was like essentially the perfect and unerrored, and he made the worst pyramid ever.
Well, he commissioned it. The people that built it, it's their fault.
No, and he probably. I wonder if there was some reason it was cheap. I'm gonna look into that now.
That's interesting.
Oh my
I
god!
bet that's really good, like gardening soil today.
I bet you're right.
I love how people were so mad about like pay to win video games, and then they come out with Decentraland, which is
Right. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
stuff like that's existed already for a while.
Like if you want to buy it, well, there's nothing to win, if that helps.
It's just pay to pay.
It's just pay to be
pay to
there.
play. But
Well,
like,
no, you
the
can.
most
It's play for free, but pay to own. You literally it's just like owning a piece of.
Yeah.
Decentraland is a DAO, and so you're buying a piece of Decentraland,
Makes sense.
that kind of thing.
I'll be right back in a second too.
Yeah, for sure. So while they're out, somebody was talking about how to get normal people onto Den, and this is the way that I'm doing it. I'm throwing a series of events locally that look like this. I got a Gainesville layer in my hometown, and I did one last month. I'm doing another one this month and another one next month. But we're not doing music. Last time we did live bands. This time we're doing an art show and some workshops. I don't think we'll be filming this one, but we're going to start doing at least the musical ones. We're going to start going live, probably on a music layer, so that we can broadcast those as long as we're doing them in real life too.
Oh, for the
And
Den
then-
experiment,
yeah.
we're broadcasting live now.
No, we're working towards that.
Okay, cool.
And so I don't think this one here is going to be live. We're going to do workshops and a DJ instead of live bands. And so that'll be cool because we'll be able to talk about to people that are curious about cryptocurrency and blockchain that don't understand it or maybe are timid and scared of this stuff, we're just going to talk to those people. So Y'all Weird is going to do how to do your own research and talk about how to, avoid scams and how to look at cryptocurrency projects that are real projects, real companies, real organizations, or at least groups of people that want to do something real. And then I'm
Even
going
though
to
I'll
do,
be there anyway, I'm definitely attending that because
yeah,
that's
for sure.
cool.
It's an educational thing. And then my workshop is going to follow that one, I think, and it'll be leveraging social media to get artists paid. And so what I'll be talking about is just the stuff that I work on with Den, how I'm using other platforms like Facebook or so, or other people who have followings on those platforms to leverage social media and organize the money flow. My personal goal is kind of to start keeping the value local instead of giving Facebook all of this money and all of this content to sell to their advertisers, and personal data. We can keep some of that value local to Gainesville, local to our city and our local artists by basically funneling it through Den. So, like have an advertising campaign on Facebook, but maybe that advertising campaign on Facebook is just an event page that you have on Den, so it drives traffic over to Den from Facebook. So, kind of like using the tools they have to kind of directly compete against them, which is neat.
It's
So,
awesome in its own way. This is the first
yeah.
time I've seen this. I haven't actually seen the
Oh
second
yeah,
for this one yet.
we made it wider because this particular venue advertises on a TV and has like a
Oh,
landscape shaped, that kind of thing.
we can also, if we make paper ones of these, we can also fold them into little pamphlets.
True, that's true. And then this scan here, right here, just goes literally, it goes to the same page that I'm already on.
Oh, cool.
So I made the page with the info in it, and then I got a QR code for this post, and then I went and edited it into the image, and then came back and edited the post to put the image in there. So that QR code is actually a QR code to this page. So if we did hand it out as pamphlets or something, people could use their phone to go right to the post, get
Yeah,
more
that's
info,
pretty
that
cool.
kind of thing. All right.
Well, that's cool.
All right. What else do we have here?
There's
From
a big
At.
one.
Welcome back, At. What's up?
I just forgot this guy's name was At.
Oh, yeah, At. At says, what layer do you think is the best run and a good example of layer owners leading that layer? Creature Comforts. But I
Yeah.
always say that, so let me pick a different one. I always revert to that because it's the reason I say that is because they legit have people that are posting original content, oftentimes a full recipe that you could work with. You could literally take that page, print it out. That's your recipe. And as far as I know, there is a creature comforts layer cookbook that is at least in the works plan wise, where you can take a lot of these and make a cookbook out of it that came sourced from the community, which is pretty
Yeah.
cool.
I'm
So
gonna have
next
to
to
start
that,
posting again.
John, what do you think? You've looked at a lot of these. What do you think the best layer, the best run and a good example of like layer owners leading that layer would be?
I think Creature Comforts is solid. I think honestly, it's probably one of like the crypto layers would be my guess, just because like for like Creature Comfort, I don't know if it's a lot of layer owners that are. Yeah, there really aren't like a lot of layer owners in Creature Comfort. The owners are not the people fucking posting.
Okay, I see what you're
You know what I
saying.
mean? Like
Well,
they're not doing anything besides like being there.
well, they could
Everything's
be.
like,
They
and
could be.
nothing even is like the getting that much hype. Everything's like, but there's one that's like 17.5 for Rabbit Stew, 15, 14, 13. Okay, some of these are getting kind of high, but like, yeah, I don't know. I think like I don't think it's the people that own the layer are. I don't think the owners are tipping out their lot to the people that are making the layer.
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be that. It could just be that they're doing a good job running the layer, whatever that layer wants to be. And if everybody's happy with the way it's being run, I think that's fine. The owners may simply be voting on stuff. You know what I mean? To curate the content that goes in there. I don't know.
maybe, but also like uh, I don't know. It's
The cryptocurrency layer, you're right, is pretty good because I've noticed a definite shift from, like, since the trading lounge layer exists now, a lot of the stuff that's just talking about charts and money has gone to the trading lounge, like how to get rich quick by making a sweet trade, that kind of thing. And then the cryptocurrency layer has been getting a lot more posts about cryptocurrency, right? Not about like methods of trading on an exchange, which is not necessarily cryptocurrency at all. It can go for anything, but for like talking about the like mining and maybe vetting certain projects, a couple of or at least one person has been posting projects that they've been researching and saying, "Here's what I found about it," stuff like that. So just because there has been that shift where people have realized, oh, okay, maybe Trading Lounge wants these charts, and maybe cryptocurrency wants actual like more deep dive stuff on the project itself, and then that happened, and you see that happening. Trading Lounge now has a lot of the people that were in cryptocurrency, and cryptocurrency has a lot more uh, on topic posts. So
I think honestly, I think if we're looking for one that's not like a crypto one, because I like given the nature of what Den is, people that are into that stuff are going to be more likely to be engaged in those layers.
hmm
I think a good example would be Amazing Views.
that's
Um,
true. Amazing Views
that's
has gotten to be pretty good, hasn't it?
and that's a layer also that like if you post in Amazing Views with quality content, like you get tipped. I have a lot in Amazing Views because like I posted a picture that was really good and had like a story behind it, and like someone was like, you know what, we value this, like we're gonna make you a part of this. So it's not just the same 7 owners that you see, in every layer in Amazing Views. Um, so I think we probably need to update a couple of the graphics there, maybe. But it's who's messaging? Oh, cool. Um, I
Yeah,
think
there's a lot of people on Den from all over the place, so they have access to
yeah,
these amazing views that I would have to travel to go see.
and yeah, so many of these two, so much of this is like original content.
hmm
I really don't see much that's like, here's this photography blog that I reposted to here. It's a lot
Yeah,
like,
it really is like a photo I took or that kind of thing.
and like even like this is not the most like I think this is a really cool photo and like it captures like the area, but this is not like the picture you'd see in National Geographic or something. Like the composition like isn't perfect in that way, but that's also what I like about it. It's like people
Yeah.
going,
It's an
I'm a person
actual
who likes to
photograph.
take pictures. This is not like me
It's a
to
little raw. Yeah,
or
it's
whatever.
what you've seen, and it's not edited to make it look extra clear and fancy,
Well,
like
like
the colors
even
pop. It's not maybe composed artistically, right? Is what you're
it,
saying?
it feels open to everybody. It's not just
I see.
like let me post my shit that should be in National Geographic. It's like, hey, these are just like cool pictures that I take when I'm on trips or when I'm out in my cool city. Like, hope you enjoy it. It's not, and
Yep,
it feels real and less like
I'm with you
I'm
on that.
being pitched or sold a product. Um, so
Being
Yep,
told,
I'm with
don't
you.
you want to come
Here's one
visit?
that somebody took in a boat next to container ship.
That's wild.
Gave me
yeah,
a flashback of when I was in the Navy.
Oh God. I guess you have been like on little boats bobbing around next to
Sure,
giant ship. No, that's
sure.
it's
Yeah,
terrifying.
sometimes you'd have to park out in the ocean because you can't. Let's say it's too shallow to get in, so you'd park out in the ocean and you take a little boat, and that's how you get in, and then how you come back to your ship at night to go to sleep is by boat.
I had no concept of how large a container ship was until I was in Louisiana, and I also had no concept of how freaking large the Mississippi River was.
Oh
Uh,
man, yeah.
so I was standing at Oak Alley Plantation, and right across from there is a road, and I didn't realize that on the other side of this road was just the freaking river. So when I noticed this, I go up there and I'm standing and I'm just looking at it, and in the middle of this river is the biggest boat I've ever seen, just floating down the middle of it like it's normal. It's like, yeah, I didn't realize how large they were. They're massive
Yep.
ships.
Yeah, it's crazy thinking about those shipping lanes being the Mississippi being a major shipping lane kind of thing.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a thing that you would ever consider a river
uh,
when you're standing next to it. Also, you would not want to fall into that. You just, yeah, I wouldn't want to swim there.
Yeah.
Current was booking.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
did you? So I saw that you were on like the Minnie. My dog needs attention. I'm so sorry.
Hey, what's up, pup?
Sweet dog.
I saw that you went to the 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 den page or whatever. Did you go and look at the payouts yet?
Oh, no, I didn't.
I'm curious.
Let's do that. Let's go here. And so I'm already in the account that hosted that. So let's go to payouts and look at it. So this is the metrics page from the account, from the business account that I'm using to run these events. And that would have been, let's see, what are you looking for specifically from the previous event page?
Yeah. So you know how you were saying that if you share this link, you get a payout.
Yeah.
I was curious how that went.
Got you. Let me go back then. That's a little bit different. Back?
Right.
Not back.
Okay.
That's under boosts.
You're not a lapdog.
So let's go to the boosts for season 1, episode 1, right here. And let's see. We've got the first day. I did 3 days, 4 days, 4 days. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 participants, unique refers 4. And of those 4 people, they got 23 clicks, people to come look at the event page. And then the pie chart shows how that was split up and how that money went out to each individual user.
Do you know which individual is getting which piece of the pie?
Nope, sure don't. I don't think. Let me see. Yeah, nope, I don't. And then there was less participation on day 2. And then there was none on day 3, so no money went out on day 3. And then day 4, which was the day of the show, people started kicking in and sharing it again. So you had 6 unique refers on that one, split up again.
So was it only those days that were boosted or whatever? I guess I don't know.
It was. Yeah, so what I did is I boosted between, it was the 4 days leading up to the show.
Okay.
And each day, so when I do that, I chose, an amount of matter per day to give out. And so each day is a new contest. So the people that posted in the beginning might not have known that or cared. And then that's why you see in the middle, like there was 4 people that did in the beginning. There was nobody on day 3 that did it. And then on day 4, I think I put out a note saying, oh, by the way, you can do this every day to earn more. And so day 4 actually has like a lot more. And that's also the day of the show when we were talking about it and things like that. So I would expect that to be a few more. So that's how that panned out.
Cool. Because I took the referral link and I put it in Den. To see how many people just in the Den layer would
Just
click on my referral link.
I've thought about that.
And I was curious to see how that went, how that did.
It's interesting to see. So I was thinking about that because this is a local show. You could do that and get people to click on it who are not going to be beneficial to the show. They're not going to come out. So I don't know if that's something where in the future maybe we can have, if we can do it in some way that's not weird, as far as like personal information goes. I would like to maybe see some way of doing that to where, I don't know, some kind of geographical area gets paid out at least more than somebody out of the area. Because if you're doing a local show that literally we're only planning on having 30 people there or something, it doesn't make sense to post on, like a global platform for it, unless you're also live streaming it on Den, which in that case would be fine. Because if we're going to, let's say we set up and stream, I don't know, the Savant show in March, which we may or may not, then you could, not only could you monetize your local efforts, but you could remonetize to a global platform too, just with a live stream. And then in the future, if we're talking about the future, let's say we do also co-host a party for people who cannot make it in person. Maybe there's a duplicate party in the metaverse at that estate to where you have just people hanging out, but then you got to like staff somebody to be in the metaverse while you're also at the in-person place. So this could be something that, I don't know. I can see that not being useful, but I could also see that you can maybe just offer different ways to participate in that event so that it's okay to share it everywhere
That's
else.
useful.
Yeah, yeah. But good idea, because I had thought about that too.
Um, so if I wanted to see if I got paid out from your thing, how would I look? I'm just
So you
curious.
would
Like,
go to your account.
yeah,
So I'm in this account. You would go to your just click on your name and it goes here, and then go down to my boost. Or I'm sorry, payouts,
yeah,
and
because I
then
want to
in
see if I made anything from your
payouts
thing.
should have. Let's see here. Let's see if there's a line for it. I haven't looked at these. I don't look at these a lot, so I have to go and see. Hold on. Post rewards, reply rewards, snapshot lore. Do downtrend, uptrend. Maybe it
What was
is
the
in
name of the
boosts.
show?
Let me see. What's that?
The show was on what day again?
This one?
Yeah.
Every Wednesday at 9?
No,
No.
no. Yeah, the Denizen one in Gainesville.
That's on the 19th. It's on a
Mhm.
Saturday, I think.
The last one, I think, is what he means.
Yeah. So I was
Oh,
trying
that
to.
was on the
I have the flyer. Oh, God.
when when was that?
It
That's a good
happened.
question.
I'm fine.
29? 29, I think.
29th. Okay.
January 29th.
Okay. I don't actually see that in here, so I'll have to go find it and get back
Yeah.
to you. I'll,
Because
I'll, I'll put it in the
I had like
replies.
a big payout on the 29th and the 26th.
That would make sense.
Well, if it's the 29th or the 26th, does it say where it came from in your payouts? Because you should
I'm
be able
looking.
to.
So one of them was, yeah, I got 4 matter from my used and local post. Uh,
Oh, okay.
from that post, I guess. And then
Yeah, I don't know. There's an answer. I just don't know it.
layer views. Is that what that would be from? Or let's see.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Yeah, this one's from views. I wonder if that's what's from your
Oh,
post.
that must be it then.
Okay, so I got 0.03 from that, so that was worth it.
Oh, well, maybe that's not it because you should have gotten more than that.
Um,
It should be like a double-digit entry. Oh well, I'll have to find that and get back to it and get back to you on it because I actually don't know right now. I will read over some of what Jacob Wade said though.
Yeah, he's got a long, good one today.
Yep, number one we've been talking about all morning, order of events and the um, different features. Ah, so this was a question that was brought up about I don't get how people can download the app and then immediately have Matter to buy tip and stuff like that. They don't. We've been doing this like discussing this in Gainesville for like a year. We just haven't done an official launch of an event series. So there were people that exist already. There happened to be that had it. And then the other way was what we just talked about. We did an advertising campaign leading up to it, and we put out, hey, if anybody uses this system of advertising, if you make an account and you share this with a share button and people click on it, you will get Matter that you can use at the show. So we distributed it that way as well, so that people that were just getting it in, if they got the app a few days before, they could have an opportunity to do that as well. And then the rest of it is having people see other people using it in real life, and then scheduling follow-up events too, saying we're going to be doing this every month. If you don't have any Matter today, go get some and use it at the next event. And they're good for all the events that we do. So I hope that's a good enough answer for that one. It's basically like, nope, they don't unless they do, and some of them happen to. This might be a whole thing or an entirely separate video, but I saw you visit the Decentraland Den estate. I recently bought some mana. I've never used Decentraland, but I'd love to know how to start an account, make or buy an avatar, visit, yada yada. So yeah, that's it's free to make an account. You just had to sign a message with your MetaMask plugin. And then with mana, you can either buy, I wouldn't recommend you buy anything unless you have a strategic plan for it, just because we talked about how expensive that was. But you can buy swanky new clothes and stuff too if you want to dress up. But basically, yeah, I think we demoed that without even knowing that was a question. So number 4, keep up all the great work and looking forward to the growth of the network of shows. Y'all brainstorm on the show. If I wasn't so introverted, I would want to host with the Beer with Dinwin, or maybe that one has to do with a premiere since I've used it 40 or 50 hours per week in the last decade. So Beer with Din is maybe evolving into something different, but it's going to be a good thing. I won't say what it is, but it's probably going to be just a regular podcast that isn't DIN focused, but it's on DIN. And it's just like World Blockchain Roundtable is not DIN focused and it's not Dragon Chain focused,
That
but
sounds
it's
interesting.
based on DIN. It would be based on that, and it's probably going to be me and y'all weird. That's what we're thinking about. And I would want him to run that one because I don't have time for another show. I do 3 or 4 a week, so I can't do another one right now.
We'd love to have you on coffee at some point, though.
Yeah, well, he's
Seriously,
introverted,
great.
so that's all right, Jacob Wayne.
If they ever
I'm-
decided they wanted to.
You can
I've
just
got
turn your camera off. It's fine.
I've got another one I want to pitch. That's just called Teach John some shit because I don't know a whole
That's
lot.
not a bad idea.
And I first I was just gonna start out with like, hey, I really honestly, I've said this multiple times, don't know what a blockchain is. Like I get it, but in my head when I visualize it, there's still Lego pieces that are being used. So I don't think that's
I kind of like that.
I don't think that's entirely correct.
You
So
could use Legos as an example.
So I think, well, so like I think it'd be funny and interesting to just have different Den players come on and tell me a thing for an hour.
I would love to do like a bunch of pre-recorded ones so that we can fit them in whatever time is convenient for all of us, and do exactly that. Where like we can get you on, we can talk about blockchain, and we can have a couple of beers, and you can just be your sarcastic self and be like, okay, I get that, but why the fuck does yada yada yada? And I'm like, John, you're not understanding what I'm saying.
This
Now
shit
listen.
makes sense.
You know what I mean? And just have a conversation like we would in real life. And I can beat it into you, and you can tell me how what I'm saying doesn't make sense to a normal person, and then you
That
can
would be
rephrase
a
it.
blast.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like I know you think you're explaining it to me, Dave, but I don't get it, and you need to change your shit because it's not getting through. Like this is how
That's not an awful impression of me. It's pretty.
That's pretty good.
That's not bad. Dakota's my wife's like impression keeps getting better and better.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
That would be I would have fun with that. You know what I mean? I would have a lot of fun with that.
Well, the idea is that so that way Dave doesn't get a new show all the time. Like every week there'll be like a new person that's explaining something to me. Would be fun.
You want to do one before you leave?
Yeah.
All right. Maybe we can do one Friday or something this weekend maybe.
Sounds good.
All right. I'll get with you after.
He's like, oh crap, that's in the launch line now. God.
I'll work on I mean, like also I can do this. We can talk about it later, but I can do like try and do the streaming and recording stuff on my end.
Okay.
So that way you don't have to deal with it if you don't want to.
Well, I've got an account for this StreamYard we could use so to keep it organized and stuff like that. It's easy for me to do it. It's already set up, but we could do it however we want. We'll talk about it offline. What if whoever's listening right now, throw in the replies. What should we teach John about?
Yes, I love this. Oh,
Do we want it to be crypto specific or does it matter? Because I don't know everything.
I don't think it matters because I think it would be fun. Because like at a certain point we're gonna run out of crypto stuff.
Yeah. Well, then we both have to learn about something maybe.
Yeah.
Talk
So
about
It's
it.
not technical related. It could be other certain things.
Like I think it'd be fun to have Jacob Wayne come on and show me something in Premiere. Because I use like
True.
Adobe Premiere enough, and I think it'd be funny. Hey, here's a tutorial, but it's a real stupid one. So if
Here's a
you know,
tutorial from
Yeah.
somebody that's been using it extensively.
if you know how to use this thing, then it's going to be funny watching somebody do this for the first time. And if you don't know how to and you want to learn, it's going to make you feel good seeing me do it first.
What's the name of that show where there can only be one? And Highlander? Is it Highlander?
Yeah, it was Highlander.
Highlander, they absorb other people's powers whenever they get together in battle. So you'd be like absorbing knowledge. You just get random people that know stuff to teach it to you, and then you are the all-knowing all dancing.
That is the only reason that I know anything in the world.
Oh, yeah. The question is, am I going to use it for good or evil? Who knows?
Well, we'll find. There's one way to find out.
I have a sneaky feeling I can answer that.
Both.
Probably evil.
I
Probably
feel like
both.
it's going to be real neutral games. It's just going to be like, so John learned all this cool stuff, and what did he do with it? He threw a party. Like
He made a poster for the party. He made a
he
cool
learned all
video.
this cool
Yeah.
thing about cryptocurrency.
NFT.
What did he do? He made a picture of what he would think cryptocurrency should look like. Nope, this has nothing to do with crypto.
And then some random person actually made a cryptocurrency around those graphics, and there you go.
John now lives in a castle.
Yeah, but it's a castle made of Legos. Okay, next question.
Yeah. Next question is from Joe Blow. It says, what what metrics would the layer leaderboard track? Probably. Let me think.
I think community engagement.
Yeah,
would be like a
some
pretty
sort
decent
of. Well, I'm
metric.
trying to think of the specific data points. Like we have a very good and unique one from the layer lot because you can measure how much matter the combined lot for that layer produces, and then you can rank based on how much matter is produced by all the lot that own that layer. So that's one way. How else? Yeah, engagement could be different, right? Because there's number of subscribers, there's number of people interacting each day, there's amount of energy on average per post per layer. A lot of other boards and stuff will do posts per hour as a metric for liveliness. There's all kinds of stuff we could do in there. So there's some of them. There's some options. I just don't know. There's probably a lot more, but those are some of the basic ones that I can think about. Again, props on the graphics. I wholeheartedly agree. Wholeheartedly.
Give
Dragon Chain
some of
Holder
these people some
says-
energy too while you're right here. Give them upvote their things real quick.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
okay.
I got one left, man, and then I can do that.
All right.
Does Den have a treasury or could have a treasury if they collect fees on, let's say, internal trades and swaps where they could purchase blue chip NFTs, which, if goes up in value, will benefit the project, the founders, and holders. Holders. The holders. Yeah, there's Den has a multi-sig account with funds in it. I don't know if the specific buying blue chip NFTs, I don't know that that's a strategy that anybody's considered, but it's an interesting idea. I haven't thought of it. Like, this is something that I talk to y'all weird about is, like, how do we strategically use our company treasury to reinvest, like an investment arm of the company, and say, like, okay, what are our tools for that? And he's brought up some ideas about, some yield farming, some stable coin staking, which is safe but gives you like way more yield than any bank ever would. But the blue chip NFTs thing, I don't know. I'm a utility NFT guy. I have an NFT as my avatar, but that's just because it's something. Well, one, I like it a lot, but also it's a local artist and a local NFT drop in Gainesville, so I have personal attachment to it. So I don't know if the blue chip NFT things, like I wouldn't even know what a blue chip is. Blue chip being, like the Cisco systems of NFTs, that kind of thing. I would say, Bored Ape Yacht Club obviously is one of them. CryptoPunks. I don't know. I don't have a good answer for that one. I don't think we've talked about it, investing it at all, and so I know that we haven't talked about doing it with NFTs. Now, to make John happy and everybody else, I actually haven't voted on these purposefully because I tend to vote on them. Like if I'm going through at night, I'll start voting and then I'll get halfway through and I'll fall asleep. And the next day I'll realize, oh, I didn't vote on this enough and I can't vote on it again because it's been after that 1 hour. But what I'll do is I'll try to give the same amount to everyone.
Well,
This is the part where we
this
watch
is
it.
exciting to watch.
I was just thinking, it's like, how do I make this entertaining? I could talk about the fact that the first vote is basically what So if you're watching this or not listening to it, the first vote that you give is just deciding if this is positive or negative energy, up or down vote. And then the next ones are what is your wager, right? This is you betting that other people will agree and they will also vote it up. And that's how you get things like consensus. So you can, one of the features that we want to add is to go back and see how much of it was positive energy, how much of it was negative energy, and how many people voted it up versus voted it down, things like that. So you can actually see the metrics of other people's content. Right now, you're not able to see that. Like, I can see how I voted, but y'all just see a number. Like, if I voted these down, you would still see the same absolute number. We talked about that before, I think. And then on my other account, I'll go back later and I'll tip you guys out too. I like to tip out every time. And then you two, I should pay you out too, shouldn't I, huh?
You can if you want.
At some point.
Sorry, my lack of coffee has completely shut me down here.
No, that's all right. I'm basically done anyway.
I've got
with everything that I think we had to talk about.
Today. This like weak sludge.
Is there anything going on?
Is there
anything going on with Den or related to like Den that we haven't discussed that we should?
Yeah, I got a bone to pick with Den. If you were to make a post, right? If you were to like make a reply and you copy one of the words in the original post,
yes,
right, it's gonna keep the formatting of that and then screw up my reply. Okay, I don't appreciate that.
Okay, so you're talking about if I were, for example, to reply to Dragon Chain Holdley here.
Yeah.
And copy what?
Scroll all the way to the top. Scroll all the way to the top.
This is it.
Okay.
What do you want?
You can't scroll any farther. That makes sense. Don't reply to this one. Go reply to yours.
Okay.
That's what I mean.
Go reply to the OP? To this?
Yeah.
Okay, reply.
Okay. And then scroll to the top and then copy and paste where it says coffee with Den episode, that bullshit. Take that.
Take that.
Copy and paste it into your thing. Okay.
Now.
And now start typing.
Okay, cool. I'm typing.
Oh, well, never mind. It screwed up for me before where it would just capitalize the first letter of every word from then on.
Oh, it continued from here. It continued like.
Yeah. It did that for me before. So I wonder, there was a post somewhere that I commented on.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah, where what I posted is now in the same format and everything as the beginning.
Oh, you know what? I bet you what happened was if let's say I do this and I copy this.
It's grabbing the markup data, right?
Yeah. So that's bolded. So it's gonna what'd I do? It's gonna be bolded and then it's probably gonna continue. Yeah.
Yep.
So there's a B button here. You can click it and undo the bold and it stops being bold.
No,
so I think that's what you're doing.
I did that.
Yeah?
I unboldified it, but then even after I did that, it kept
copied
going.
the case.
I unboldified
capital
it.
Case. It
All right.
it kept capital casing.
Are you following me on this account?
Am I following you? I don't
on
know.
This account.
Probably not.
Go to following, right? On the right. Down.
No, I don't think I am.
Okay.
Probably not on the Gaines account.
No, just
Okay.
D and just D and Hand Drawn King are the only two people this count's following.
Why are you following Duds?
I don't know.
Following D on this account?
I don't remember.
Okay. All right. Can you find me?
Honestly, I don't really want to right now.
Or is this way too much work? Okay. Whatever.
But I believe you.
It's fine.
What happens whenever here's what I think is happening. Not reply. Home. Damn it, Dave. Den. Okay. New post. This forces you to have uppercase in the beginning, right? So what must have happened somehow is when you copied this, it copied that capital case enforcement.
I don't know that. I get it. I know what happened.
Okay.
I'm saying I don't want it to happen anymore.
Okay. It doesn't happen to me, but that's not an excuse. It works on my end.
You can always tell people that have worked in tech support.
Yeah.
Because you just did the whole doesn't happen on my end.
Yeah. I don't know. Have you tried unplugging it and plugging it back in?
Like the issue here is between the seat and the keyboard.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Pebcac. Isn't that what you call that?
Hebcack, that's right. I
Problem
couldn't
exists
remember.
between chair and keyboard.
I couldn't remember that for the longest time. Thank you. I'm writing that down.
Yep. We used to. Let me take this down. We're done with this. I used to in the
No,
Navy. We
do the
used
wide
to
view. Do
have
the wide view. Do the
do the
wide.
wide view. Do the wide view. All right.
Yeah. You
I
don't need to
thought,
zoom in on my face like that.
In the Navy,
Oh,
we used to have
so much.
operations specialists that we worked with a lot. And as an ET or an FC, you would be in charge of fixing their equipment. You're basically tech support for them. And so you always had to write down like the cause and then the solution for a problem. And so the operations specialists were called OSs, but that was also an acronym for operating system,
operating system.
right? So on more than one occasion in the logbook, I have written faulty OS, and then resolution was replace OS. And so it looks like you're talking about the operating system, but really I just got a different person to fill the role and was like, okay, you do this. Okay, it works. Problem solved.
Faulty
So,
OS.
little
Replace.
Pebcac story for you.
Clever.
Yeah. Well. I think
Luckily,
we made it.
have somebody come in with a major issue like that yet. At least since I've been there this time. I don't think. I don't know. I had somebody think they were getting hacked yesterday. I know it's always, but they were
It
just
might have
getting.
been.
No, they were just getting emails. Like it was just occasionally it would pop up in the corner and be like, "You have a new notification," and they're just like, "Oh my god, they've taken control." It was one of those.
It's
those
like
experiences.
the person you told me about that couldn't understand how other people were on her Facebook page,
I don't
right?
think I've ever seen you more frustratedly, kindly explaining something. She did. She came in and she sat there. I don't barely remember it, but she came in, she sat there, and we offloaded every piece of information that we could from her Facebook account because she had sat there all night and downloaded everything to CDs.
Mm-hmm.
So we could then, because she didn't have a DVD-ROM drive, CD drive. So we burned all these for her so she could then take them, create a new account, and then re-upload them after we wiped the system. And you closed the store after that. You're like, we're done for the day. We're like, we're having a beer and it's over. Like, we're done for the day. Nothing else. But
It
she
was
came back.
literally just how Facebook worked. It was
Yep.
just-
She also called it Adobe instead of Adobe. And she called me for 2 years after the
Yeah?
store closed. Yep. 2
No
years. I don't
kidding.
remember her name, but she called me for 2 solid years.
Well,
For Adobe problems.
for Adobe problems. Well, she had
I got a
someone that
Bobby
answered her
problem
calls.
too, though.
I love
Yeah,
my
well, you know what? We have which arm is it? There we go. We have a resident expert of a Bobby right here,
Oh no, God no! Do not give me an expert title on anything.
and he can take care of that. All right, man. I think I've yapped out about the new features upcoming on Den. Go discuss those. Again, they're in the Den 2020, or I'm sorry, they're in the DENDAO layer, which is a new layer for the governance going forward. Go into DENDAO. It's the top post. It's one of 3 that exist in there, and discuss some of these new features. Talk about things you don't quite understand about how they're explained. Add any of them that you don't see on there, and we will get a vote to it, and we will prioritize these based on what the most people want first. If I had to guess, it's probably going to be DMs. If not
Yeah.
DMs, maybe, let's see. It'll probably be that, or it's probably DMs. The lot trade and the matter purchase, I really want, just for utility sake, right? Just for the same reason I want DMs. It's useful.
Yeah, the ease of access.
That kind of thing. So go in there, lay out your thoughts, and let's get this DAO rolling, because I think it's either going to be released. There's a chance it's released tomorrow. All the new DENDAO governance features, the site-wide stuff, or next week. So probably next week.
Shortly.
It's not going to be Friday. If it isn't tomorrow, it'll be next week, because releasing things on Friday is asking for headache, because then you've got, if something doesn't work right, then it's the weekend, that kind of thing. So I would say probably next week. I would prefer it next week personally. I'm not in charge of that. But then we'll see, as soon as that lands, I imagine, we'll see 13 of these in a site-wide GI, general issue, governance issue rather, and people will be able to vote on it. At least the people that have those lot. And then again, those lot get expanded with, over time, with other owners as well. So everybody gets a piece of that pie, and hopefully, on the last thing that I'll say is once that is published and ready to go, then we can do some really cool things with other creators too, like offering them ownership in the DAO to come in and bring their channel here, to bring their audience that they already have into Den. And we'll see how that goes. So cool. That's all I got. You guys have anything you want to say before we sign off of here?
Sorry, give me just 1 second. I
John?
completely forgot that I have to schedule my ride to get to work.
Oh yeah, go do that. John, what's up with you?
What's up with me? Oh yeah, I think
Do you have any of those recorded episodes that I was asking about? I want to see. I never make it to your live events, so I want to see the recorded improv events at some point.
Yeah. I actually started a website, or I think I mentioned this last week.
Mm-hmm.
My wife created a website, and I'm putting like more and more of them online. The problem is I went to like edit them, so like the audio is balanced,
Mm-hmm.
and I was gonna put like a little like graphic at the beginning and stuff like that, little intro thing. And then I went to use Adobe, and it kind of shit the bed.
Need to update your drivers and all that.
And I can't find my laptop, which is like, amazing to have all my stuff. And
This is the one you just bought?
yeah,
Oh no.
it's some. I don't take it out of the house. I don't know where it could be. So
Did you check?
What?
Did you check the car by chance?
I feel like it might be there, and I haven't checked there yet because it was cold yesterday. I didn't feel like walking outside.
It's probably okay.
Well, what is this website? Is it up already?
Yeah, it's literally improvjon.com.
Nice.
Improvjon.com.
That's good. That's a good name.
It's also, you can also go to johnimprov.com.
And it redirects.
Both of them and it redirects. And then also it goes to, I think it actually redirects to, let's see here, johnbranch.info.
Okay.
It's actually what it redirects to.
Fair enough.
Because my wife bought the first two domains,
Mm-hmm.
the improv domains, and then she's like, oh, you get a free domain when you make it, like when you buy the whatever version of Wix or whatever. So she bought one and then doesn't know how to change the domain name.
Oh, so you just pointed it at that one.
So so it's pointing at the one that she bought through their account.
I'm loving this picture of you in a suit on the front here.
It's for my wedding. That's
good. I had a feeling.
Me and my tux. I got to change the background from a glass of scotch.
We don't have to.
That's just like the picture that they had, but like you don't really ever see it anywhere else, I think. That's my dog.
I noticed that the dog is there.
There's an about me section. That's my wife on the other side of me, bartending, which is at my wedding.
So you said you have one of these videos up there already?
Yeah, there should be.
How do you have it uploaded? Is it like from YouTube and
yeah, it's on YouTube.
Cool. You should throw that up in there's a humor layer. Where would that fit?
In the humor layer?
Yeah, you should throw that up in the humor.
But the thing is like I even got tipped out like a lot in the humor layer, and then as soon as I got tipped out a lot, I was like, cool, and then didn't post anything, and I feel kind of shitty about it.
Oh,
but also, I mean, that's how I am. But also like, I don't think they do well in the humor layer. Like, I think the humor layer is kind of more like memes and like stand-up like bits and stuff. I don't think like that kind of original content's really.
I don't know. I haven't posted any of that type of original content in there. I don't know. It might have less subscribership. It might be one of the layers that's less active, and that's just how that is. You might have to revive it. I don't know.
Yeah, there's the thing that has like the most amount of upvotes right now is Donald Trump doing a cover of Bohemian Rhapsody.
Well, it sounds like a low bar.
And then like an expectations versus reality, like picture, like meme, like it's not.
Yeah, none of these layers are gonna instantly like. That's one of the reasons I want to start trying to incentivize some pre-existing creators who want to try out the cryptosphere to bring their existing audience onto Den with their show officially,
Yeah.
because then those people have other interests too. Like we could make a layer for uh, someone's podcast or someone's live streaming show, and
Mhm.
then anybody they bring over will get some capture into other layers too.
Yeah.
So
I
it's just a
feel like
matter of onboarding.
I feel like honestly, like it would do better in like board because people in board are looking for a thing to do and
Yeah,
watch.
board's actually pretty decent as far as like I see a lot of activity in board. So yeah, throw it in board. Throw it wherever you think. And this is strategic for you. You as the creator, as the poster, you put it where you think it'll be number one. It'll be accepted as like quality content for that or on topic. Board being okay, anything goes basically. And if it's not the humor layer and it's the board layer, well, the owners of the humor layer, it's up to them to make that
Yeah.
attractive for you to post in, if you see what I mean, right? So
Yeah.
that the lot holders are really like competing against other layers for you, against the board
Yeah.
layer. So that's how that
And,
should work.
and I think like the humor layer, like I have to look at it again. Okay, there's a decent amount of owners. Because I remember like before there really weren't that many. Um so
You
like
said
but like
said you're an owner in that layer, right?
yeah, I am.
Yeah, so you can like propose things that you want changed, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, but like
Like you can
I
propose a
can
layer
propose
description.
people have better taste. Like that's not a thing.
Well,
Yeah,
it
Like
you,
is. You can propose a layer description to where you talk about what types of content people should post in here.
I mean like I'm as I think I usually end up going against the grain honestly with like a lot of
Hmm.
my viewpoints about on like this on what I like to see and stuff like that. Um and I think I would be going against the consensus. So I just more think like this isn't like the
Well, I
John
mean,
Branch
yeah,
layer.
yeah. If you
And
don't think so, that's it's a marketplace. Look at it like a marketplace, and
yeah,
you'll do well. Look at it like a play to earn game,
yeah.
where there's rules and there's there's game theory involved, and you can, what, this is in the board. This is going in board because they will enjoy it over there, and I haven't got a lot of response in humor, and
Yeah.
that just is how it is.
No, yeah, that's how I look at it for sure. I'm just like that's why when I look at it, it's like okay, 4.2K views versus what's over in board 20,000 views. You know,
There's a
5 times as
substantial
many
difference.
views in board that I'm gonna get. In
I
I
think you're doing
honestly,
it right.
yeah, didn't even know I could look at it.
I think
Uh,
you're doing it right. I think the people that own the board layer or the humor layer would say, "Oh, come over to our layer." But as the creator, it's up to you. It's a marketplace, and you're going where you're going to be rewarded the most, as long as it fits in the topic of that layer. You know what I mean? So if board layer is where it's at, there's a random layer too, and I don't think you'll do as good in random as you will in board. And that's just because of they're two different communities
does
theoretically.
random get a lot of stuff? I
I
haven't
just
seen.
know it exists. I've
yeah, I haven't
posted
seen
there
it
before.
much.
Am I? I'm not even subscribed to it. I think.
So
Yeah.
yeah, what John just basically talked his way through is what
Yeah.
creators will think about when they're coming onto Den to post and figure out where to post. Once they learn how it works, they're not just going to simply post in a category because it best fits. They're going to post in the category that best pays, probably where they feel most wanted, or where they've had better, good experience in the past. And that's how layers compete.
And
Compete for John.
it was like and then like random had like 1.3K views. So it's like it's even less than humor, you know. So to
And
be
if
in
you
a
have
layer
this is
that's
something that the leaderboard would help with too. If you're going through to pick a layer to post in, let's say you have two or
yeah,
three comedy related layers, you can just look on the leaderboard to see which one is the most active and make post in there. Or if it's on the other hand, if it's too much activity in there, that could be a bad thing. Maybe you want better visibility by going into a still active but less popular layer and posting in there, because you might get paid out more because of better visibility, because the threshold of quality maybe is lower in this layer than it is in that one. There's
that's
just
true.
so many variables.
Yeah, like it's just I don't know. It's just so
Well, all right. We'll figure out where or if it gets posted. Otherwise, I'm going to go check out one of your shows on improvjohn.com/whatever.info.
JohnBranch.info. I found it.
Okay.
Very on the nose.
Yeah, man. I love it.
About him.
Well, it's going on lunchtime for me. David, you got to go to work. You got anything else you want to say before we sign out of here?
Good luck with the whole Windows 11 thing.
Oh yeah, is it becoming a?
Oh my God! So
ordeal?
for the longest time, Microsoft was like, "We're not going to do the thing. We're not gonna make you go to it. It's fine. We're not going to do the thing." Well, guess what's becoming a feature update now? If your computer
What's that?
can Windows 11. They're just like,
Oh.
it's a feature update. So people
They're doing it. They're doing it like they did before, where they force everyone.
and it's a lot less specific now. Well, it's more specific now because they're scanning computers and making sure that they meet hardware requirements, which I'm sure they will remove at some point and then force a whole bunch of other people to upgrade. But we didn't think people were actually going to we're going to have that issue, and now I've got that people coming in again being like,
I don't want them to scan my computer.
They're already doing it. They do everything
what
on
I mean?
your computer.
Yeah.
This is why Linux is lovely.
There is a Linux layer proposed.
Oh, I saw that. I need to go and actually throw some votes at that.
I'm not going to go through the layers right now, but
No,
I will
okay.
just remind everyone that that's a thing that is open. You can go vote on stuff now. There are 2 categories by most votes and by most unique voters.
Hey,
And
Japan.
right now, airdrops is in the lead in both categories. Metaverse coming up quick, followed by collectibles, Japan, and not eligible, but eroticism is something that later on down the road, once we have more tools, once we have, there's a lot of stuff we need for that to do it right. So that's literally just, we don't have the tooling yet, and there's a lot of features we need.
That could go one way or the other.
And mining, I want to eventually get that up there too. So, and firearms, and another science and technology layer for some reason. I guess they don't like the one we already have. It's literally the same name almost. We have a science and technology that is, I guess, that's going to be competing with science and space technology. So whatever. All right, that's what I got. That's what we got.
On that, I got it. I'm gonna have to scoot and go to.
All right, cool. Well, I'll see the 2 of you next Wednesday morning, and I'll go through. If anybody wants to throw in any replies, I'll go through and respond to those as well after the show, and I'll tip out with Matter once I log into my own account too. So thanks again for joining us for Coffee with Den. Thanks again for the new artwork, and those are all the things. Everybody
Hopefully
have a
next
good
week
weekend.
I'll have real coffee.
Yeah.
Have a good weekend and safe travels, John. If we're not, I don't think we'll see you next week. So safe travels and send us some photos. Find some amazing views for us.
I got you. I got you covered.
We'll miss you.
Bye. See you.
Bye, y'all.
Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best.
Adaptable, all capital, label radical yet rational. Adaptable approach is palpable if this animal is fallible. But that conclusion is laughable, so with for all detachable from the mandible, you see it now.